So this is the internal of the Compal 2 computer, which I built in 1991 as a secondary school project when I was about 18 years old. The idea was to build a device to program EPROMs, etc., which could work without any other device, so it has its own CPU with a display. You can even enter the code on a keyboard. But it kind of became a complete, a whole computer. It uses a Z80. It also has a PO for I/O and has somewhere a serial I/O port. It has about 180 kilobytes of memory. Has its own. This part is the sound device. Has a little speaker. Could produce all kinds of frequencies, not only one tone but whole melodies. Power supply is here. Yeah, old-fashioned way was to use a transformer, but like I said, it was 1991, so there wasn't switched power supplies. Switched mode power supplies were not so common back then. I've used a normal keyboard. You could enter here on a cassette board. Oh yeah, cassette board. Whoo! And I called it a high-speed interface. Yes. I don't know what. It was just an I/O port. And printer and yeah, keyboard. There is the keyboard. Oh yeah. Yeah. Intelligent developed system. Oh yeah. Back then I called my company, which I didn't have because I was still a student, but still, Arnold Mulder Electronics and Software Systems or Services. Later I discovered, actually back then I didn't know, I haven't noticed it, but if you separate the A from the mess, then it's a mess, and well, that was not a surprise. So I now call my company AIMSTEC, targeted for technology. Oh yeah, it's a lot of work. So this mainboard, I've designed it myself. It's yeah, it's double layered, but it uses metal, through-hole pins to connect the top with bottom. So also when there are components, you could connect the top with the bottom layer. It's all drawn with the hand, designed by hand, but also drawn by hand on paper, transparent paper, and then using ultraviolet lights to expose the printed circuit board. And I used tape to make sure both sides were aligned. Yay! It had expansion ports because yeah, so this is only the main board, and in the front you have some sockets to program EPROMs, big EPROMs, small EPROMs, and logical chips, PLDs. And this one was meant for an external extension. But this is connected to the expansion boards, so yeah, I never made expansion boards actually, because after 1 year my study was finished. College, no, I'm not sure how it's called in English, MTS in Dutch. It was not meant to design things. I mean, it was a school where you only had to learn to build things which were already built, with ready to build do-it-yourself sets. But well, the teacher let me do this, and I liked it, and I got a good grade from it, even though it was not completed when I was finished. I still have somewhere the schematics of it. And I also made a manual originally, but I lent it out by someone too, because he was interested in reading it, but he never gave it back, so I lost that one. And this is the front. I used special aluminium with a black layer, which was photosensitive, so you could expose it to ultraviolet lights. And also everything here I draw by hand, and I used special symbols which you could, what's called, transfer to paper, transparent paper, so you could write letters nicely. Oh yes, we have the mains power LED in function, act busy, contrast, stop. I don't know what I meant. Volume stop. Oh yeah, if you're at the end, so you have plus minus, and if it's clipped, so if you cannot go any higher, then there was a LED for that. User, drive, here, printer port. He could print also caps lock, because I also had a keyboard. You could connect a PST to keyboard to it. Serial port. These are LED indicators to indicate the status of programming device. Oh yeah, and it was IC test. This thing was meant to have a universal sim test in the ROM sim. Oh yeah, now I remember, it was a simulator form, not an expansion, but a simulator form. So you connect this connector to to another electronic device, and this emulator ROM. I never finished these expansion boards, but I finished the main board and it worked. Yay. And then I had a little bit dilemma, so I had a device which could program an EPROM, but first I needed to program an EPROM for this device to work. Oops. Okay. If I find some more info, I will post it here on YouTube. Have a nice day. Well, here are the drawings of the printed circuit boards of the Compal 2, my self-built computer in '91. So like I said, the PCBs are drawn on transparent paper, and with it you could transfer them to the printed circuit board with ultraviolet light. You expose it and then you develop it, and then you get that. I've drawn the designs with the computer. Back then I had a CPC 464, an Amstrad computer, and on it just was also Z80 based computer. And I wrote a cut, and it's called a cut program on my own in BASIC on the computer to draw designs. And this one is a later design actually. This one is a eprom-programmer to connect to the printer port of a PC. This one I also built. Like I said, I've lost the schematics of that thing because I had it in a booklet, and I was so stupid enough to lend it out to someone, which never gave it away, and then time passes by and he probably forgot that he has it. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I want to show you now. Bye bye.